Greetings, and in this video I'm going to be working on the XL01 test spaceship from the film Lightyear. Now I know Lightyear wasn't the best received movie, but for me it does have some really nice designs in the film, and this is one of them. This is the XL01. This cost me £7, so it's not like something I was going to break the bank, but it's a little toy that I found in a shop, and I thought it'd be a nice one to convert. So I thought what I'll do here is we'll take a look at the toy before its conversion and take a look at some of the details of it. It's got this really sort of 80s sci-fi R-type kind of vibe to it, which all the designs in Lightyear do. But for what it is, I think it's got some really nice looking parts. I think that if you were to, for £7, if you were to buy one of these just to cannibalize, I mean, it's right there. There's a lot of really nice stuff on there that you could just hack to bits. But for this one, I'm going to try to make it look a little bit more, well, I wouldn't say realistic, but a little bit more fancy. And I will say, things in this did not quite go according to plan. So here we have the ship dismantled, and you can see here how these parts are held together. They basically lock in once you start getting them apart. And here I am test fitting the pilot and trying to see what you can actually see with the cockpit closed, to see just how much detail it's worth putting in. Next up, we put the parts into a bath of soapy water just to start cleaning off any residue that may be on these parts. There could be a bit of grease, there could be a bit of crap. You never know who's been handling it. So quick scrub down with a toothbrush, just to make sure that we get in all the nooks and crannies, and then give it a quick wipe down with a kitchen towel, just to make sure everything's off the model. I think I'm going to eliminate these two pins here, which will be these two pins here in the back. That'll give me some space there. I don't think I need these, because I think they'll at least correspond with the landing legs, which I'm not going to be using, because I think I'm going to fill these in, because I think I'm going to want this in flight. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to drill away the backs on these to allow for lights. And I think I'm going to just use these three pins here for location. This has an interesting thing whereby it's got these grooves down here and here, and these extrusions here, which when you put them together, even on a press fit, just makes this really clean seam. So I could quite like that. So yeah, I think I can get away with eliminating these pins here and here, and just keeping these three, and I think that'll work. So on this part of the model, you've got this embossed right in here. I'm just going to take that off with a little bit of sandpaper, so I'm just going to be careful not to take off any of the detail. Let me take that off. So this piece of detail fits over like this, and it fits on like so. Maybe underside of the booster. So I want to remove this nub here because I want to put an LED in this space here. So I'm just gonna trim that off there like that, and hopefully I'm going to get up as much as I can. But hopefully this won't make too much of a difference to the functionality. Let's do these ones. It's pretty easy to cut stuff actually, this plastic. And do the same here to these. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's speed things up a little, shall we? So here I am laying on some matte black paint, and I'm not using primer, I've just thinned this paint down. It's ordinary matte black Tamiya paint, and I've just put on a couple of coats just so that it adheres to the model. This is a personal preference. I on a model like this, I didn't want to waste time priming and then having to go back to basing it in black. Besides which, the components here are a bit soft anyway on the moulding, so I think putting layers of primer on and then layers of paint on top, it'll only make it even more soft. So I thought, let's put a couple of thin coats of black on and go from there. Next up, it is milling away the backs of the engines to allow for the LEDs to shine through. And what I'm doing here with the drill is just milling out the ends of the wingtip lights. I was hoping that I could just drill through the side and then fit an LED in, but there's really no space at all because it's just solidly molded. So it would have been nice if it was like 2-part or something like that, or even if I had taken the time and wanted to, I suppose I could have grooved a channel in down the wing and fitted the wires in like that. But for what this is, it really wasn't worth it. In the end, I drilled into the wingtips, run the wires down the edge of the wing, and allowed the LEDs to just sit in the recess. And now all I'm doing here is drilling out all the lights for the cockpit controls. Time to get on with some spraying, and I'm basing this in a light grey. I've got a couple of different shades of grey that I'm going to be using, so I will base it in this colour grey and then start airbrushing and picking out individual panels before going into some brush painting detail. Enjoy! So now it's time to fit the stand, and I've got a piece of brass tube in here, and luckily this toy actually comes with a stand hole already in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some green stuff, I'm going to smush it up all together, and then I'm going to place the brass tube in and then pack in and around with green stuff just so it holds solid in place. Then I will backfill the other side then with some epoxy, just so that it's really solid and it can't move. It's a very small model, it's very lightweight, it doesn't need a lot to hold it on. And here I am fitting some LEDs. This is for the cockpit lights. It's a pretty basic setup. There's no real jiggery pokery going on. It's just feeding the wires down either side of the cockpit so that they're hidden, and then putting in all the other basic lighting. It's basically just a handful of LEDs, some 470 ohm resistors, and some wiring, and then all soldered in parallel. And a quick mix of some epoxy just to secure the cockpit light fiber optics in place. And with that, a quick lighting test just to see how everything looks. And yeah, it's all pretty good, and it's all looking really nice. And now I'm applying some red and green to the rear wingtip lights, and as I said in the start of the video, things don't exactly go according to plan. So here I am doing some light proofing to get rid of the light leaks, and at some point somewhere along the line the green LED blows. And if this were a bigger model, if it was more expensive, if it was an actual kit, I would probably think about going back and changing the LED. But as it is, you know, it's a shame, but it's something you've got to live with. And it's not the only thing that happens in this video, but yeah, it's a bummer, you know. It would have been nice to have had it all lit up for its final presentation with all the lights on, but you kind of got to accept it for what it is and move on. And one of the other things that went wrong here is the decals. And again, I don't actually know what happened here, but I applied the decals to the model. Everything seemed fine, and I moved everything into position. It was all looking good, but then the decals seemed to disintegrate, is the only way I can put it. And I really don't know why it did it, but there we are. I don't mind it. it's it's meant to look like a worn looking ship because it's supposed to have crash landed, but I can live with it. So here I've made and 3D printed a base for the XL01. I've given it a spray of matte black without any filler. I didn't bother trying to sand it or anything, it's not worth that. So I'm just sponging on some gunmetal here, and then once I've done that to where I want it, I'm going to go over it with edging in steel, just to highlight some corners and whatnot, just dry brush all around, and just to get a little bit of edge highlighting on the go. The next is I've got some brazen brass, which I'm using to just give a little bit of warmth to the colour, so it's not all in this flat sort of grey silver tone. And the next then is to go with some bright silver, just to do some real bright highlighting. So next up, we drill the hole for the brass tube to support the model and glue it in place, and then this is done. Yeah, things on this project didn't go exactly according to plan, but for the fact that it cost me less than a tenner, I think I'll absorb the loss on this one. Thanks for watching the video, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.